that even if some of these MAGAs espouse populist-sounding rhetoric, I know that a lot of what Tucker says sounds similar to what Bernie says, but the way they would deal with it couldn't be more different. I worry Cenk is falling for it. I worry some others have fallen for it.
The woke left is absolutely falling apart. We now have people like Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur who are routinely going after the woke left, and people like David Pakman, of course, are not happy about that. People like David Pakman and Destiny and Hassan Piker and Vosh and all these people, they're not fans of Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur making a turn towards the right wing. But it's only because they have an ounce of common sense inside of their brain and they're not complete and total sellouts. I don't know if Cenk Uygur is being legit or not with the things that he's been doing and saying, but Ana Kasparian just seems like she has a little bit of common sense in her and she can't help herself but to call out this BS. And people like David Pakman just act as if he can't see the BS and the hypocrisy that the woke left pushes. So he's getting mad at them, quote unquote mad. You know, I think it's all an act personally, but it's still great to see David Pakman have meltdowns like this one. Let's get into this clip here where David Pakman loses his mind over things that Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur and many others on the left have been saying recently.
By CJ Polychroniou, about how Donald Trump is stuffing his cabinet with oligarchs who are poised to govern for their own profit. This is one of the most important and notable characteristics of Donald Trump's incoming cabinet. If you thought Donald Trump's first term was a billionaire frat party, Trump 2.0 is really looking like it's going to be a full-blown oligarchic takeover. Crony capitalist half measures, put them in the rearview mirror. We are looking at a billionaire governance cabinet on steroids, and it's pretty wild. Remember Trump's first cabinet? Rex Tillerson, Stephen Mnuchin, Wilbur Ross, right? I mean, there were certainly wealthy oligarchic types, but it turns out that that was really nothing compared to what we are now looking at. Of course, we have Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, multi-billionaire, close to a billionaire, leading as unelected bureaucrats the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. We have that. This is the kind of shadow operation. They don't answer to Congress. It's designed to gut regulations and maybe slash Social Security and Medicare in order to enrich themselves, hamstringing agencies like the IRS. It's all under the banner of efficiency. Fine, we know that, but there's more.
What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments, because I mean, if you watch this channel for a long time at all, you know I'm a little bit weary about it as well. I don't think Vivek Ramaswamy is involved in Doge anymore, as David Pakman just said, but Elon Musk definitely still is. And it does weird me out a little bit that Elon Musk has so much pull with Donald Trump and with this current regime that Donald Trump is running, because I don't know if I trust Elon Musk all that much. You know, the man wants to implant chips inside of people's heads, and you know, he's kind of seeming like, you know, he's sounding pretty anti-Christy, you know, that's what it seems like to me. And, you know, I've had a theory about Elon Musk for a really long time. I'll kind of give you the Cliff Notes version so we can get back to David Pakman's meltdown here about MAGA just taking over. But I think Elon Musk is a plant by the government, by the establishment, to win over the right wing, because they saw back in 2020, 2021 that the left wing will do any and everything that the government says, even inject certain things into their body that is not proven to work or proven to be safe whatsoever. They're just going to do it, and they're going to try and not just do it, but they're going to do the government's bidding and try and push everybody else to do it, or else they're not going to be friends with them or close their stores to them or not go to Thanksgiving dinner because they don't have the thing that everybody else injected into their body. And I think Elon Musk was kind of put there to win over the right wing. And, you know, they know that the left wing is going to get the chips inside of their head. That was very obvious. And now Elon Musk is sent here to win over the right wing to make sure everybody on both sides gets the chips implanted into their head. Because if Elon Musk is the savior of free speech on Twitter and everything like that, then the right wing is going to be a lot more open to putting his Elon Musk chip inside of their head. That's my quick theory, you know, out there, Alex Jones type theory. But I've been weary about Elon Musk for quite a while. So it is kind of strange to me that he does have so much pull and that he can use it to just make his pockets bigger, right? Just get more money in his bank account. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about what David Pakman just said right there.
Doge is not an official agency. It's basically Elon Musk and his ultra wealthy friends freelancing for Donald Trump. If you're wondering why Elon Musk got a seat at the table, he ponied up around $250 million for Trump's reelection campaign. Vivek, another doormat suck-up donor. These are not public servants. These are billionaire servants or profit maximizers, but public servants is not the right term. Musk has spent years fighting regulatory bodies like the SEC and the National Labor Relations Board, and now he is positioned to actually tear them down for his benefit. This has to be understood under the umbrella of Project 2025. That's, of course, the conservative blueprint to shrink government to the size of Trump's hands. Think of Reagan's Grace Commission with more billionaires and fewer safety checks. And the goal of all of this stuff is privatize public services for their financial gain, strip federal workers of protections, funnel what's left to private companies, their companies if they can do it. And remember that in Donald Trump's first term, we saw the corporate tax cuts, we saw the rolling back of environmental protections, we saw the blocking of ESG investments, and now they want to kick it up a notch. It's an unfettered, uninhibited, instantly lame duck Trump. And they are talking about trillions in budget cuts, numbers so huge that you can't do it without wrecking programs that millions of people are relying on. Now, if we zoom out a little bit.
I mean, if millions of people are relying on programs that shouldn't be funded, that doesn't make it an excuse to fund these programs. Like, people have been using that excuse for the reason why the CIA and FBI should exist as it currently is right now. I do think we need some form of the CIA and FBI to exist, but where it's at right now, I mean, it's so corrupt from the top down. You have to tear the whole thing down and restart. But a lot of people have been using this excuse that David Pakman just used for those, where it's like, but you're going to lose. What about all these jobs that are going to be lost by, shutting down the CIA or FBI? They have families to feed and everything like that. Well, I mean, hey, man, like the Taliban have families to feed too. Hamas have families to feed too. Does that mean that we shouldn't shut them down? And I know a lot of you are going to be thinking, but the CIA and the FBI, they're not as bad as those organizations that you just mentioned. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They just don't do it as publicly as those other organizations do. They don't celebrate it out in public like they do. They might be even worse, to be honest with you, because they actually have technology and things to back it up, and they have a lot of data, and they know everything about us. I probably should stop talking like I am right now, because they probably hear me right now.
It is true that American politics has always had a sort of soft spot for the wealthy. The founding fathers owned land and enslaved people. And for a while it was, hey, it's the landowners who get to vote and to decide, right? I mean, it's sort of like the on the one hand, we talk about the egalitarian goals of the founding of the country. And also we have to remember the sort of robber baron, gilded age, only white landowning men can vote sort of stuff. Now, Trump's twist on the whole thing is that he's not even pretending to hide it. He's bragging. Who is he turning the country over to? Billionaires. Doge, his cabinet members. It is not a representative government. It's a fully, clearly, publicly displayed oligarchy. Now, the reason, if it's not obvious that we all should care, is that when the billionaires are in charge, the policies will favor the billionaires. It's not a conspiracy. It's common sense. Worker protections are not hugely interesting to billionaires. Environmental protections are not hugely interesting to billionaires. Social safety nets, gutted. The bottom line is, if you're not part of this club, you're going to be footing the bill for their benefit. As we've said before, you've got to follow the money. Trump's whole drain the swamp mantra was always a ruse for consolidating power for the super rich, for his buddies, for his cronies. If you're not on the guest list, then too bad. You're going to do cleanup duty after paying for the entire thing. So we are preparing for what 2 weeks from today will be the second Trump administration. Trump continues to talk about making America great again. But if this cabinet of oligarchs gets its way, greatness is going to be reserved for the billionaires, for those who have been able to pony up the money for Trump. and many of us are going to be left behind. So we've got to keep our eyes open, but importantly, and this is what I'm going to talk about after the break and what I'm going to talk about with Cenk Uygur soon, we have to remember that even if some of these MAGAs espouse populist-sounding rhetoric, I know that a lot of what Tucker says sounds similar to what Bernie says, but the way they would deal with it couldn't be more different. I worry Cenk is falling for it. I worry some others have fallen for it. So we're going to talk about that after the break, and we're going to talk about it on Wednesday with Cenk Uygur.
It's so culty, man. It's so culty. He sees that Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian and these people, you know, David Pakman sees that they are leaving the left behind because of how insane they've gotten. So now he's saying, look, David Pakman's like, look, Cenk and Ana, I know that what the right wing is saying sounds very attractive, and it almost seems like they're making us look so stupid that we don't even acknowledge what the truth is. But I promise that's not the case, because the way that they would go about doing these things, these exact things that you actually want done, they would be very evil with the way that they do them. Like, it's so culty, man. Like, one day, I truly believe that if David Pakman doesn't see it already, one day, 30 years from now, he's going to look back on videos like this and making statements like that. He's going to look back on it and he's going to be like, wow, that really was culty, what I just said. Because that is, I mean, David Pakman's basically saying, look, the right wing is saying all the things and pushing all of the ideas that you guys want, but trust me, you still want to stay with us. Just don't worry about what they're saying. Just stay with us. That's so culty. It's so closed-minded, man. Like, if the right wing started pushing things that I don't like, which they are doing, and I push back against it all the time, you know, funding the war in the Middle East, I think it's really dumb. And especially because people are taking sides as if they don't both hate us. Like, they both hate our guts. The populations of them, they both hate our guts. So why would I take a side in that war? I hope they both lose. Or like, I don't know, man. Like, there's so many things. I don't want to talk about them here because they're not even allowed to say on this platform. But I talk about them on Twitter all the time, where it's like, man, they like the right wing has just gotten so soft in so many ways. The Republicans have gotten so soft. But I'll never just be like, oh, I just must agree with these people because they are right-wingers. It's so dumb, but that's exactly what the left does, man. That's exactly what David Pakman did right there with Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian and the other people that he's calling out there. Let me know in the comments, though, what you guys think about David Pakman melting down over this MAGA takeover and over the woke left losing people, such as Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur and these other people. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole David Pakman meltdown. If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.